Gonna go ahead and put everything out for now because we do need to take off the back seat. The sub is already installed right here, so we should have plenty of room to kind of work around with it. But this do need to come off. There's just not really any option not to take it off, which kind of sucks. I wish Chevy would have been able to make it kind of fold down, I guess, but it is what it is. We're gonna go ahead and take off the headrests first, as we need to take off these inserts right here, and then we're gonna go ahead and release the locking clip from all the way in the back. It's kind of hard to see it right now, but I'll show you what that looks like. So these things do need to come off. The way it's installed is basically sitting like this. As you can see, this little locking clip right here needs to be pushed in to release. So whenever you get here, all you have to do is pull this down and push that locking tab with a flathead towards inside, and then this whole thing just slides out. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you real quick. As you can see right there, so just go ahead and push that locking tab right here in this location, and then this whole thing would release and pull up. Got everything taken out. That's the first thing that needs to come off. Now we're gonna go ahead and access the clips from the back. Now you're gonna go ahead and pull it, and then you'll be able to see a locking tab as well, but it's metal. It's kind of hard to see it doing it this way, but I'm gonna show you what that looks like once I get the whole seats out. I've gotten the back seat loosened up, so you can see it actually pulls out. The clip that you're looking for is this right here. See that little C shape right there? Now you're gonna have to pull that up with a flathead or any type of hook. That way you can lift that up and then it'll release the lock. Like I said, I'll show you what that looks like. But for now, we still need to take off the 10 mils on the bottom. So we're gonna go ahead and put the bottom part of the seat so we can access those bolts. Now I can kind of show you a lot better view as far as the locking mechanism. And as you can see, this might look like something that could release it, but it's not. So kind of wish it would have been like some kind of mechanism, but the mechanism is right here. So you have to lift, you have to put a flathead to this opening right here and then lift it up. That way it'll release the locking mechanism right here. So kind of like that. You'll do that with this one, second one, and then a third one. Now there's also a bolt, 10mm bolt right there, right here. There'll be one in the middle, another one right there, another one right there, and the whole back seat pretty much comes off to reveal where we need to be. Now that you got the seats out, I temporarily put it on the floor for now. There will be a foam right here that goes all the way from one side to another. You do have to take that off to make room for the amp behind it. So we're gonna go ahead and take off the modules, mount the amp rack, and then see how it looks. We do need to remove the modules right here. Sometimes there's a module that's mounted to this location right here, but in this case it doesn't have one, so we're not gonna worry about that. But in this case, we need to take this off so we can go ahead and mount the amp rack. Now that we got the factory amp and the module beside it taken off, we're gonna go ahead and slide in the amp rack. So everything lined up, majority of the holes, except for the ones down here. So I do need to drill 2 openings. As you can see, the studs are not protruding. So I'm gonna go ahead and mark it and then try to drill holes so that way those would go through. Seems to be like most of it, like I said, mounts up. It's just these two that don't want to have anything to do with mounting. So we're gonna go ahead and take care of that and drill some holes. Ended up having to enlarge the hole, kind of just tapered. That way the big washer would fit right in. I had trouble trying to get it in without enlarging the hole. And I did add 2 holes down here. That way it'll sit flush. So we can go ahead and basically mount everything back up. And then we can go ahead and mount the modules back. I'm on the passenger side. We're going to go ahead and run the power wire. I'm going to show you where the grommet is. There's actually a little nipple that you can cut, and it's already a hole. The only other ones that I know that does this is Ford. So it kind of gives access to where you don't have to drill any holes, or you don't have to try to cut a little slit on the grommet. It's already there. So I'm gonna spray a little bit of lubricant down here. That way it'll kind of slide in a little bit easier, and it's not making rubber to rubber contact. So I just use anything WD-40, PP plaster, things like that. I'm gonna go ahead in the engine bay and show you what that looks like. Here's that little nipple I was talking about right there, where the metal hanger is poking through. I already cut the nipple off, so that's kind of why I was able to run the wire or the metal hanger through it. You don't even really have to do anything else other than cut that nipple off. Like I said, spray a little bit of PV blaster in there. That way it'll kind of slide in a little bit easier. Then we're going to go ahead and run the remote wire and the power cable all the way to the amp. After a few tries, I finally got the wire to go through. Being that this is a 0 gauge, it is kind of a pain to run into that little hole. It was actually meant for a 4 gauge max, but obviously a 0 gauge is a lot bigger, so it took me about 3 or 4 tries to get it to go through without having to slit the rubber. But otherwise, I can pretty much run all the wires to the back. We do need to access the side panel right here with the fuse box so we can get the remote wire. Go ahead and pop the side covers right here and temporarily release these panels. That way we can run the wire through the channel and the RCA remote turn on to the fuse box. So go ahead and prep that. We're going to run the base knob to the other side, as it's not going to reach. Going from there, running it to here, and then where the amp is, it's definitely not going to reach. So we're going to run that to the driver's side. Got the wire currently ran to the channel. It's coming out to the other side so far. Thank God that Chevy did this, where you can just run to the channel. Don't have to mess around and try to find a way to run it. There's plenty of room down here, so shout out to Chevy for doing that. Not that they'll ever see this video, but definitely got to give them kudos. Got the big power out ran. Got it coming out down here, so we're going to go ahead and zip tie it to the harness and get it ready for the amp. Here's the current situation right now. Just trying to get this thing to fit in here. I probably do need to trim this piece right here. That way the wire would just go in to this channel. I did mount it right here. No obstruction of screws that's going to affect it, so you are okay to mount it right here. So we're going to go ahead and break these tabs off. That way we can go ahead and run it and put the cover back. This is how everything looks. Make sure you zip tie it to the harness right there. That way it doesn't make contact with the AC lines or any metal. So that's what it looks like. Now we go ahead and run the base knob to the driver's side. Here's what I like to use for the ignition or remote turn on. It's this position right here. There's a male spade right there that you have to hook it up to. You just need like a speaker terminal and you should be good to go for the remote wire. I've ran the remote wire for the base knob the same way I ran the power wire on the passenger side, but this time I had to do it on the driver. Got everything mounted right here. Got it zip tied, cleaned up, ready to go. So now I can put every panel back and then we should be able to start tuning the amp and sub. Here is everything wired up. I did sacrifice one of the brackets, the plastic brackets for the ground. It's still gonna have 1, 2, and 3, so no problem with that. But that's the best thing that I could figure out as far as ground goes. That way it doesn't affect anything else or don't have to drill anything. So I did add a little zip tie right there just to hold the power wire and stuff like that. Got the Wave Tech already mounted. I already got everything tested. Got everything screwed up. So everything is done. So I thought the bracket was plastic, so I went ahead and sanded both sides along with the surface side of it as well. I'm going to take off that ground wire and re-bolt it up here once I get the seats back. Like I said, you still need to take off the foam if you didn't if you haven't done it. So everything's gonna be in there, so we're gonna go ahead and start putting these seats back, and then basically call the customer and let them know it's done. Before you put the nuts back in to their location, make sure there's no wires in between the metal and the cabin wall. In my case, I had one that's behind it. That's why I was kind of feeling it a little bit, just to make sure nothing's between. So just go ahead and do that, just to make sure nothing's in there, and then go ahead and tighten everything up. Customer is on his way to pick it up. Here's the 4/8. Sounds good. Bumps pretty good. So next update will be the customer updating the big 3, the battery and the alternator. That way you can actually get more power. But for now, it's on a safe level. But other than that, if you guys have any questions, let me know.